Y'all, we've got to begin with an incredible story this hour uncovered by our friends at NewsNation, a news network I hope you will check out because they do their very best to play it straight. They certainly have a couple of people who lean left there. They've got some folks who lean right there, but they're really focused on delivering the news in a very straightforward manner, and I appreciate it. And they have a bombshell that hit yesterday with a whistleblower, with a federal whistleblower. And, you know, this comes on the heels of Donald Trump complaining repeatedly, much to the dismissiveness of most of the mainstream media, over the Biden administration's zealous push for DEI standards. Now, side note, this gets back to the point that I've now, it's come up more than I expected it to come up, but my goodness, it has come up pretty significantly that the National Association of Realtors has been pressuring people into not using the phrase master bedroom or master suite even. And now I've gotten several realtors who have emailed me and said, if you call yourself a realtor instead of a real estate agent, you're with the National Association of Realtors. And they say they're not mandating it, but you will get in trouble if you say primary bedroom, that people can report you. We had a call from Carl down in Orlando, Florida, saying that he's been reported 3 occasions for saying master bedroom instead of primary bedroom. They are trying to punish people for just saying a word. It has nothing to do with slavery, but you need to understand that it was on the heels of George Floyd's death that the National Association of Realtors did this. And they've gotten very, very woke in their language. So, for example, one realtor tells me that she can't say beautiful views in the MLS listing because blind people can't see. And she can't say something is within a reasonable walking distance because the disabled might not be able to walk. But primarily it is master bedroom. You can't say master bedroom. And the left's like, why do you care? I care because you people on the left accuse Donald Trump of rampant authoritarianism, and you're using your control of institutions to do the same damn thing you accuse him of. It is authoritarian to punish an American for using the phrase master bedroom, and the National Association of Realtors claims they're not mandating it. They're just encouraging alternate language. But you talk to the actual real estate agents of America, and they say they get in trouble if they use master bedroom. It's stupid. This came during the Biden administration, where the Biden administration decided that it would use race to benefit non-white people, despite the Constitution saying you can't do it. The Constitution of the United States is very clear. You can't discriminate. And in fact, when the affirmative action education cases against Harvard, University of North Carolina, I think it was, and University of Michigan went to the United States Supreme Court, John Roberts, for the majority, wrote very simply, the best way to stop discriminating is to stop discriminating, instead of giving preferential treatment to others. The Biden administration, however, decided to engage in rampant race-based discrimination as uncovered by NewsNation. I want to play you part of the report from last night on NewsNation and what a federal whistleblower has uncovered.
When former President Joe Biden left Washington, D.C., he was leaving behind a DEI secret involving American farmers and $800 million in taxpayer money. And the United States Department of Agriculture whistleblower is now sounding the alarm.
It was to pay off anyone who wasn't a white male's loan. That was the only qualification for this loan forgiveness.
And what was the reaction?
So it was really silent. They were trying to keep this hushed because of the obvious implications of race-based loan forgiveness.
Race-based loan forgiveness. It's in black and white, buried in the American Rescue Plan Act. The United States Secretary of Agriculture shall provide a payment in an amount up to 120% of the outstanding indebtedness of each socially disadvantaged farmer or rancher. The act explicitly lays out who's considered socially disadvantaged.
So just to be clear, if you were American Indian, Alaskan Native, Asian Black, African American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander, Hispanic, or Latino, and you were in that group, you were told you didn't have to pay your bills, essentially?
Yes, that's correct, and that your loan would be forgiven up to 120% of the loan value.
To me, it was combating racism with more racism. I couldn't believe that it was happening today's age.
James Dunlap owns a small family farm in Baker City, Oregon. He works 2 other jobs to keep his farm afloat, but did not qualify for the loan forgiveness because he's white.
I knew what they were saying was that minority farmers were going to have their loans forgiven for no reason other than they decided to, they being the government. So.
And how much money they had nothing to do with it.
As far as I understand, not at all. It wasn't about hardship. It wasn't about financial situations at all. It was purely what box you checked under that ethnicity line on your application.
If you checked a non-white box, you got the free money no matter how rich you were. James and other white farmers sued the Biden administration and were successful. The loan forgiveness for any farmer who's not white was stopped. The judge writing in his decision, it was an actual constitutional harm that cannot be undone. And James and other white farmers will suffer the harm of being excluded from eligibility for that debt relief program solely on the basis of his race. That harm he has shown is irreparable. But this is where things get interesting. The Biden administration was not ready to give up. They passed the Inflation Reduction Act to help farmers who couldn't pay their loans. It was supposed to help all farmers, but NewsNation has learned all farmers were not told about it. NewsNation obtaining a copy of this email that was sent out to share information about new payments and or loan modifications that may assist you. But here's the catch. Our whistleblower says it was only sent to the minority farmers, aka the socially disadvantaged group. And he says USDA workers were even instructed to tell that group to stop paying their loans because they would still be forgiven. The whistleblower says none of the white farmers he works with received the email.
That's NewsNation. If you subscribe to the show notes, and you can text the word data to 33777, DATA, text that to the number 33777. Get the show notes. We've got the link to the NewsNation story in there. You can see the whole report, the whole news story, and also you get the text of it. And it is from Brian Hinton and Allison Hope Wiener at NewsNation. It is insane what this story says. This was intentional, willful discrimination by the Biden administration, willful, intentional discrimination against white farmers. And also notice the language, 120% of outstanding indebtedness. In other words, you're going to make back some money. But only non-white farmers were allowed to apply for the program. And in fact, when a judge struck that down, the Biden administration decided to do it anyway and just not tell the white farmers. Now, we've been lectured a lot by the American Press Corps over the last 100-some-odd days of the Trump administration about the Trump administration defying court orders. A constitutional crisis, we've been told. Is this not a constitutional crisis orchestrated by the Biden administration? Do we just cover this up? I mean, like, the Chrisley pardons, Todd and Julie Chrisley. Listen, that dude needed to stay in prison another decade, let his face settle down from all the Botox and plastic surgery he's had. He shouldn't be getting out of prison. There's no justification for the pardon. They were convicted by a jury of bank fraud and tax evasion. There's no reason to pardon these people. And the media is blasting the pardons. But, Joe Biden did all those pardons at the end of his administration, and they continued to give him a pass for it. Is it any wonder the Trump administration thinks they can get away with stuff and will defiantly get away with stuff because the media let the Biden administration get away with stuff? We are now May 28th, 2025, inside the Trump administration, learning that the Biden administration orchestrated massive racial discrimination in this country through farm policy. Absolutely insane to me. Absolutely insane. But notice it's NewsNation covering this. Where's the New York Times story? Where's the Washington Post story? Where's CNN's coverage? Where are these other news outlets? NewsNation is a scrappy up-and-coming news network. They do great stuff, by the way. They do fantastic news. But they're alone out there. It's like the New York Post exposing Hunter Biden's laptop, and the rest of the media circle the wagon and say, we're not going to cover the Hunter Biden stuff. It's clearly Russian disinformation. Where's the rest of the media adding into this? And by the way, it was explicit racial discrimination, and at the time, it was a law passed by the Democratic majority in Congress, the American Rescue Plan Act. The Secretary of Agriculture shall, quote, provide payment in an amount up to 120% of the outstanding indebtedness of each socially disadvantaged farmer. The socially disadvantaged farmer was defined as by the Act as American Indian, Alaskan Native, Asian, Black, African American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander, Hispanic, or Latino. No, wait just a damn minute here. Black or African American, Hispanic or Latino. Really? This is what we gotta check the boxes on now. You can be African American or Black. It's like the Democrats, the left, coming up with, instead of saying colored people, we do people of color. It sounds just as bad. We're not going to talk about the coloreds. We're going to talk about the people of color. Good gracious. Like the blacks. We're going to talk about the African Americans instead of the blacks. Y'all, come on. And now in this law, we're going to have the blacks and the African Americans. I mean, apparently, if they included whites, we would have to talk about the whites, the Caucasians, and the honkies. Just let's get every demographic label possible in there. We got the whites, we got the Caucasians, we got the crackers, we got the honkies, we got the blacks, we got the African Americans, we got the Latinos, the Latinas, the Hispanics. Yeah, they said Latino in the law, not Latina, as if farmers can't be female, those sexist Democrats. But the crackers, the honkies, the whites, and Caucasians totally excluded from this plan. And the Biden administration chose not to tell them. It's just absurd to me that here we are at this point, that we are engaged as a nation in discrimination at all. But now look, Donald Trump allows in white farmers from South Africa. And the Democrats and the media are like, you can't do this. This is just reverse racism. Wait a second. Wait. So we can allow in the Haitian voodoo priests, but we can't allow in the white farmers from South Africa. And we can give Black and African American farmers and Hispanic or Latino farmers a bailout. But we can't give white farmers a bailout. Spare me the lectures, Democrats. You people are racist. You believe that we should be racist against Asian students and give preferential treatment to non-white students who aren't Asian. You believe we should bail out farmers so long as they're not white. This is Democratic priority. This is legislation written by the Democrats in Congress, not just progressives. The Democratic Party engaged in this level of racism, and the media helped them cover it up. The National Press Corps refused to report on it. And now you have one network that has a whistleblower that is running the report, and the rest of the media absolutely silent on a massive, whole-scale plan, not just to discriminate against white people and to disadvantage white farmers, but also to defy a court order. All these bellyachers over Donald Trump possibly defying court orders are willing to give the Biden team a pass for doing it. And I suspect the Trump team wouldn't be so emboldened but for the fact that the Biden team pioneered the practice and the media gave them a pass.